Okay, welcome to Reading and Phonics today. We are going to review our sight words. Our two new sight words are and to. And to. What word is this? What word is this? To is written with a T and then an O. Do. To is written with a T and then an O. Do. First you make a T and then you make an O. To is written with a T and then an O. Do. This is the word to. This is the word Here's the sight words from last time. Am. I. What word? Little. The. Our new sight words are to. Very good. Our new letter for today is the letter O. O says O and ah. O says O and ah. Here is the letter O. Here is an otter. Look how cute. O says O and ah. I've already made my little chart for today. O makes two sounds. It's a vowel. O says O, like open and ocean, but it also says like octopus, like octopus. This one kind of makes a different sound, but owl. Owl is also starts with an O. The last one that I want to talk about is on. If you have a light switch in your bedroom, usually turn it on. And that's what we're going to do for our action, is we're going to pretend like we have the switch and we're going to turn it on. O says O and ah. O says O and ah. O says O and ah. Okay, let's do all of them together. We'll have to remember yesterday we did N and says okay? Here we go, ready? A says A and A. B says B. C says K. D says D. E says E and E. F says F. G says G. H says H. I says I and I. J says J. K says K. L says O. M says N says N. O says O and ah. O says O and ah. Like we're turning on and off. On. Off the light switch. O says O and ah. All right. Now we are going to do some practice with our sounds. Okay, when I say the word sit, like I sit on my chair, let's say the different sounds in sit. The beginning sound is s, s, s. The middle sound is I, and the ending sound is t, 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 s, it, sit. Let's try another one. What about hit? Ready? It, hit. How about the word pit? Pit. Ready? It, pit. Okay, don't worry, we're going to practice this a lot. All right, let's listen to two words that start with the letter V. V. The first word is vest, and the second word is volcano. Let's clap once as we say the word vest. Ready? Vest. It only has one syllable, vest. Now, let's clap while we say the word volcano. Ready? Volcano. Volcano. How many times did we clap? How many times did our chin go down? 3. Let's try one more together. How about apple? Ready? Let's clap first. Ready? Apple. Chin, apple. How many times did our chin go down? Twice. Okay, now this one's a big one. Do you think you can do it? Hippopotamus. Ready? Hippopotamus. Hippopotamus. That's a lot. Hippopotamus has 5 syllables. All right. Back to our book and our amazing words for this week. Got my pictures. All right. A bakery is a place where bread, rolls, muffins, and other tasty things are baked and sold. What's our new amazing word for a place that makes and sells baked goods? Say it with me. Bakery. The bakery smells very good because bread is baked there. All right, next one over here. A fire station is a building where engines are kept. What's our new amazing word for building where fire engines are kept? Say it with me. Fire station. Firefighters work and rest at fire stations. Now, we learned about bakery and we learned about fire stations. I'm going to say a sentence and I want you to either say bakery or fire station, whichever word fits best. Ready? They buy bread at the, which one? Bakery or fire station? They buy bread at the bakery. We learn about fire safety at the bakery or fire station. We learn about fire safety at the fire station. Okay. I'm going to tell you a quick story as soon as I get to the page. It's called Grandma's Garden. I want you to listen carefully because I don't have pictures, so you have to imagine it in your head. Grandma asked Tommy to go shopping with her. First, they picked up a toothbrush for Grandma at the drugstore. Grandma asked the clerk if the store had shovels. The clerk said they must go to the hardware store. So they went to the hardware store and bought a shovel. Grandma asked the clerk if the store had tomato plants. The clerk said they must go to the plant store. So they went to the plant store and bought tomato plants. Grandma asked the clerk if the store had books about gardening. The clerk said they must go to the library. They went to the library and checked out a book about gardening. At Grandma's house, Tommy and Grandma read the book about gardening. They dug holes with the shovel and they planted the tomato plants. Who, my friends, are the characters in this story? That means who is the story about? There are 2 people. Grandma and Tommy. What happens at the beginning of the story? Do you remember what happens at the beginning? Grandma asked Tommy to go shopping with her. What happens in the middle of the story? There could be a couple of different answers here, but what happens in the middle of the story? Probably the grandma asks if there's tomato plants anywhere. And what happens at the end of the story? They go to Grandma's house and they read the book and dig a hole and plant the tomato plant. All right, we'll learn more about our amazing words and more about syllables and sounds tomorrow.